So now you're actually working on 2 other books. You're working on a book on Latin American history, boxing history, and then you're also doing one regarding the sanctioning bodies.
That one's going to come out first.
Okay, so you know what? It's called the 4 Belt Era. It's about the sanctioning bodies. We'll get into that first. Could you talk to me about the 4 Belt Era? What did you mean by that? Talk to me. What's this book about?
That's what they call it now, the 4 Belt Era, right? Mm-hmm. So, and to me, it sounds stupid, but I've been around since before the 4 Belt Era, right? That don't even do nothing for me, 4 Belt Era. Because back then, when I first started, it was just 2 belts, right? Or 1.5 belts, because the WBC wasn't completely recognized back then, right?
Yeah.
So now everyone's happy with 4 belts, right? So it's wild to me to think, because just like, imagine 20 years now, they're going to call it the 8 belt era, right? You might think that's kind of crazy, but whatever. You know what? Give everybody a belt. I don't care, right? What I don't like is when the historians or the people that vote for the Hall of Fame, or even some casual fans, they look back into history and they're like, oh, he was never a champ, he was not undisputed, and then they start like trying to like lower their accomplishment. But that's what I don't like, because you can't compare it, because it didn't exist back then. Trust me, if there were 4 belts back into history, you'd see a lot more champs.
Yeah, of course.
Right? You would see a lot more. So what I did was, because people love the 4 belts, so I said, you know what? Forget the 4 belt era. Let's make the 4 belt era from the beginning of time. And I went in the very first rankings of Ring Magazine, and I just randomly picked out the 4 guys and then followed their record. And whoever they lost to became the new champ, and that was it. and it's kind of wild. It's a silly exercise, but at the same time, it kind of opens your eyes about who might have been what. And I'm not gonna lie, man. You put a title on someone's name, you almost start thinking of them as a better fighter now.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny how that worked out. And then Ring started in 1924, so I had to go like backwards.
Oh,
like,
okay. Jack Johnson days and all that. Huh? Jack Johnson days and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So now you see, like, Jack Johnson's no longer the first black heavyweight champion, for example, right? Panama Brown is no longer the first Latino champion.
Okay.
Andy Ruiz is not the first Mexican-American heavyweight champion, right?
Okay.
So it's just totally changing everything. Harry Greb finishes with over 150 title fights, right? Sugar Ray Robinson up there also, over 100 title fights. Joe Louis, over 100 title fights. Because now we're putting belts. Back then, the number 3 contender fought the number 5 contender. It's the same thing now. Like, how many, like, do a top 10. Give me a division.
Get 140.
140. Okay, so let's run the top 10 in any order. Tio,
Puello, Catterall.
You want to throw Josh Taylor in there still?
Nah.
No. Paro
for sure.
Matias. All right, so
we'll work with those 5.
If Matias and Paro fought,
they did fight.
Yeah, I know, but that back in before the 4 belt era, that would be the number 4 and number 5 guy. Or whatever Paro was rated at the time.
Yeah, it would be. He would. Nobody was number 1 or 2 at that fight.
They weren't champs.
No.
So the number 4 and 5 contender. Now it's a title fight, right?
Back then it was just a fight.
It's happening all the time. So now let's say Paro won. So let's say Paro fights Puello. That's number 4 versus number 2. Happened a million times.
Yeah.
But now it's a unification fight. So it's weird the way you change the meaning of a word, and it just totally changes your outlook on things.
Yeah. What do you think of this era? I call this era the undisputed era. We as much as we don't like the sanctioning bodies, we have had people
I don't care about the sanctioning bodies, and I don't dislike them. I just think that they no longer define what a champion is.
No, but what I'm saying,
there's just too many of them.
What I'm saying is, once you put a belt on somebody, there is some assigned value to it.
It is. Yeah, that's the way the game works now. It's a promotional tool.
But what I'm saying now is, this era, in order to really show you're the best, you kind of have to wipe out a division.
And they were doing that in the past.
No, but I'm saying is they're doing it now. They, like, you know, I feel like the boxing fans now, we complain so much about the fights we don't get that we don't appreciate the fights we do get.
Right.
You know, we got Usyk versus Fury for Undisputed. We got Spence versus Crawford. A little too late, but we got it for Undisputed nonetheless. 154, Charlo Undisputed, you know, Canelo at 168 and the new way.
But if you go back to the 1970s, basically every title fight was undisputed. That's what I'm saying. So
I got you.
Yeah, so you could call it the Undisputed Era because the language has changed, right? People don't even know what a champion is now. What's a champion? Look at the dictionary.
Yeah.
Right? It's the top guy, right?
Guy,
now
yeah.
It's not the top 4 guys, not the top 6 guys.
Yeah.
Right? So
now there's interim champions and regular champions.
supers and everything. And you know what? If that's what makes the boxing world go round, then yeah, keep it doing. But I don't like, you see how you just distinguished this is the Undisputed Era?
No, well, it's because the verbiage has been created.
All of Ali's fights were undisputed.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is the verbiage has been developed now because let's say in Mayweather's era, let's just say that wasn't necessarily a goal. And the same 4 belts were around. If Mayweather was fighting in this era now, it would be looked at as, well, are you going to go undisputed? Because Canelo just did, because Usyk just did, because Inoue just did, because Crawford just did.
Okay.
And he will feel obligated to try to pursue that, is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I call, not saying that this era is doing something that the previous era isn't. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, you get what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's what we come through. You know, we got to put labels on things to sell things now. You can't sell a fight no more to good guys. Although we saw a little bit of that with Turkey when he was putting like Zelig Zhang versus Deontay Wilder, for example.
Yeah. I mean the Haney Ryan Garcia fight. I know it was for a title, even though Ryan didn't
came
make
in
the weight.
overweight, right?
But let's just say it wasn't for a title. You think that fight would have sold one less pay-per-view? You get what I'm saying?
I don't know. You think they would have fought if no title was on the line?
Ryan don't care about titles.
How about Devin?
Devin, I do think so, that he cares about it, but I do think that, let's just say, if in his first fight the opportunity to fight Ryan came up and it wasn't for a belt, he would have took that opportunity because of the money, you know?
Yeah, and so, but now that's just, I don't know, I think now, we saw it a little bit with Zhang, the heavyweights. Mm-hmm. Although, I'm not too quick to give them too much credit because that originally was supposed to be Beterbiev Bivol in the main event, right? And that was canceled. So Joshua Dubois, that was for a belt too. I think that fight would have been just as popular without the belt.
Yeah,
but we don't know because they keep attaching these belts to it.
It's true.
So now Usyk Fury ain't undisputed no more, is it?
No, it's not. But we know what it's lineal. It's the best fighting the best. It's the 2 best heavyweights.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't pay attention to that new definition no more.
Well, let's talk about Usyk since we
It's like used cars. Remember they used to call them used cars? Now they call them pre-owned cars.
Yeah,
same thing though. But that's what they do in boxing. They just changing the language.
That's funny.